Hey, youths, genuine followers and constructive critics. At the outset, I wish you and your beloved a safe journey in 2021 too, in spite of the second coronavirus sweeping India with high mortality rates besides other natural calamities. It is social activist and good-hearted preacher Professor back with ecstasy, sheer ecstasy. For my 143rd video, which is in pipeline for publication on YouTube today, 11th June 2021, Friday. The topic for today is productive use of AutoCAD for engineering graphics. Uh, Yesterday I released another video generally on AutoCAD, generally on CAD and most popular CAD packages. Today we'll cover just AutoCAD in depth. Okay. As I mentioned before, computer-aided design (CAD), also known as computer-aided design and drafting (CAD). CADD is basically applying one of the computer packages for design work in engineering. Computer-aided design (CAD) is the use of computers or workstations to aid in the creation, modification, analysis, or optimization of a design. CAD software is used to increase the productivity of the designer, improve the quality of the design, improve communications through documentation, and to create a database for manufacturing. Designs made through CAD software are helpful in protecting products and inventions when used in patent applications. CAD output is often in the form of electronic files for print, digital, what we call as digital, electronic, for print, machining, or other manufacturing operations. Previous video, as I mentioned before, published yesterday, was a primer to CAD and popular CAD software. This video, as I told you, will confine our discussion to just AutoCAD, one of the pioneers in this arena and quite popular even today after so many years. Okay. It was introduced in the market in 1982. Today, now it is 2021. So 18 plus 20, more than 30 years. This package is in use. Even now, it is used by so many companies and all that. Okay, AutoCAD is a commercial CAD software application developed and marketed by Autodesk. Autodesk, that's the name of the company. AutoCAD was first released in December 1982 as a desktop app. Those days we had only desktops, mostly running on microcomputers with internal graphics controllers. Yeah, we need graphics because it's all graphical. Before AutoCAD was introduced, most commercial CAD programs ran on mainframe computers or mini computers. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the mainframe, mini frame, and all that. I have used it. Even IBM cards for punching, of course, with each CAD operator, user, working at a separate graphics terminal. AutoCAD is also available as mobile and web apps. Nowadays, it's all apps for the use. Okay. Applications. AutoCAD is used in industry by architects, project managers, engineers, graphic designers, city planners, and other professionals. It can be used for anything basically. Okay, it was supported by 750 training centers worldwide in 1994. AutoCAD was derived from a program that began in 1977 and then released in 1979 called Interact CAD, also referred to in early Autodesk documents as MicroCAD. It was written prior to Autodesk's then Marine Chip software partners. Formation by Autodesk co-founder Michael Riddle. The first version of Autodesk was demonstrated at the 1982 Comtex and released that December. AutoCAD supported by CP/M80 computers as Autodesk's flagship product. By March 1986, AutoCAD had become the most ubiquitous CAD program worldwide. The 2021 release marked the 35th major release of AutoCAD for Windows. The 2021 release marked the 11th consecutive year of AutoCAD for Macintosh. The native file format of AutoCAD is DWG extension. This, and to a lesser extent, its interchangeable file format DXF, have become the de facto proprietary standards for CAD data interoperability, particularly for 2D drawing exchange. Initially, it was for 2D. Those days, we had only 2D. AutoCAD was included support for DUWF, a format developed and promoted by Autodesk, the publishing CAD data. AutoCAD supports a number of application program interfaces, API, for customization and automation. Anything needs to be customized. These include AutoLisp, Visual Lisp, VBA, .NET, and Object-ARX, the C++ class library, which was also the base for products extending AutoCAD functionality to specific fields, creating products such as AutoCAD Architecture, AutoCAD Electrical, AutoCAD Civil 3D, third-party AutoCAD-based applications. There are a large number of AutoCAD plugins, add-on applications available on the application store, Autodesk, Exchange apps. Nowadays, it's all apps for the apps. Okay, AutoCAD's DWXF, drawing exchange format. That's the expansion. Drawing exchange format allows importing and exporting drawing information. Autodesk has developed a few vertical programs for discipline-specific enhancements. There are so many variants of AutoCAD. Okay, now we'll move on to the commands. Most useful commands, most widely used commands. Basic commands, it's all categorized. Basic commands, first we'll see about basic commands. In AutoCAD, L command. It is a command that can be used for making simple lines in the drawing. L. It's all menu-driven in the drawing. C command. It is a command for making a circle. PL command. This command can be used to make a polyline. PL for polyline. In your drawing, REC command. This command will make a rectangle. POL command. This command can be used to make a polygon with a minimum of 3 sides and a maximum of 1024 sides. ARC command, as the same name suggests, this command can be used to make an arc. All these commands are meaningful names. Say ellipse command. This command can be used to make an ellipse with a major and minor axis. REG command. This command can be used to make a region geometry. CO command. This command is used to copy the object or objects. Array command. Using this command, you can make a rectangular, polar, or path array. TR command. This command is used for trimming geometry. TR for trimming. OP command. Using this command, you can open the options window. OP for options. All these commands are meaningful. Okay, options window, which contains most of the settings of AutoCAD. SC command. This command is used to change the scale. SC for scale of an object. B command. This command is used for creating a block. B for block. The properties of the block can be defined using the block definition window. I command. This command can be used to insert. I for insert an existing block or a drawing as a block in AutoCAD. ST command. Using this command, you can open a text type. ST for type window that controls the properties of the default AutoCAD text style. X command. This command can be used to explode. X for explode. It starts to explode objects like polyline to simple lines, an array or a block to simple geometry, etc. F command. This command can be used to add rounded corners to the sharp edges of the geometry. These round corners are also called as fillets. F for fillets. CHA command. This command can be used to add slant edges to the sharp corners. These slant edges are also called as chamfers. CHA for chamfers. LA command. This command can be used to open a layer. LA for layer properties. Manage palette, which is a tool for managing layers in a drawing. The status bar is an important feature of the AutoCAD user interface, and its tools are required quite frequently while making or editing a drawing. Hence, they are available on the status bar for easy access. You can activate or deactivate status bar icons using keyboard shortcuts. All of us like shortcuts, right? Computer this thing, there are shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. So next we'll see about shortcut keys in AutoCAD. F7 command. This status bar tool will toggle the visibility of the background grid, which is often visible in your drawing area. F9 command. Toggle snap mode, and the snap mode is active. AutoCAD cursor will jump to specific points in the drawing area, which is defined in snap mode. F8 command toggles ortho mode on or off. When ortho mode is on, you can make lines either horizontally or vertically only. F10 command toggles polar tracking on or off. With the polar tracking active, you can make lines inclined to any angle which is defined in the polar tracking increment angle. F11 command toggles object snap tracking on or off. There are plenty of commands. What I have listed is only a short list, which are most widely used, which you need to know in depth. Okay, using this option, you can track snap options of geometries like center, midpoint, endpoint, etc., and make geometries with their reference. F3 command, one of the most important status bar toggles. This function key activates or deactivates object snap option. When object snap is active, you will be able to snap your cursor to some extent, some exact points in the geometry, like end, center, quadrant, tangent, etc. This option allows you to make precise AutoCAD drawings. DYN mode command, by default, the value of this system variable is set to -3, which keeps it off. You change the system variable to 3 +3 to make dynamic input active. Dynamic input allows you to add information dynamically on the cursor to ISO draft command. Using this toggle, you can activate the isometric drawing plane in AutoCAD. You can select from isoplane left, isoplane top, and isoplane right. You can also toggle between different isoplanes using the F5 function key. The default value, everything has got a default value. Default value of isodraft option is orthographic. 9. LW display command. The system variable toggles the visibility of line weight in a drawing. The default value of the system variable is off, which keeps the line weight display off, so that you can change its value on to keep the line weight visible in the drawing area. Transparency display command, like just like line weight, this status variable allows you to toggle the visibility of transparency of an object. You change the value of the system variable to 1 +1 to make transparency visible, or 0 if you want to make it invisible. Selection cycling command, using the system variable, you can select overlapping objects very easily. When the value of the system variable is set to 2, overlapping icon and a menu containing a list of overlapping objects appear. and you can select the required object from this list. If you set the value of this system variable to 1, only the overlap icon appears, not the name. You can turn off this one by changing the value of the system variable to 0. Graphics config command. Using the status bar option, you can open the graphics configuration window, which is used to change the settings related to the display and graphics properties of AutoCAD. AutoCAD is a full graphics package. You can also use 3D config for opening the graphics performance window. Ctrl+N command to open a new drawing tab in AutoCAD. Ctrl+S command to save a drawing file. Ctrl+Shift+S command to save the drawing as a new file or in short. This is a shortcut for the save as command. Ctrl+D command, it clears the screen to show only the drawing area and hides palettes and tabs. Press it again to reset the default AutoCAD interface. Previous one Ctrl+0. This one Ctrl+1 command, select an object and press Ctrl+1 to open the properties palette, which lists the properties of the object. You can use this palette to modify most of the properties of the object too. You can also use the PR command to open the property palette. Ctrl+2 command, you can use it to open the design center palette, which contains many AutoCAD blocks that can be used directly in a drawing. Ctrl+9 command to toggle the visibility of the command line. If for some reason your command line is hidden from the drawing area, use this keyboard shortcut to bring it back. Ctrl+C command, select objects from the drawing area and press Ctrl+C to copy objects to the clipboard. Ctrl+V command to paste the copied objects of the clipboard in the drawing, keeping the original properties. Ctrl+Shift+D command to paste the copied objects as a block. You can use this keyboard shortcut, the block, as going through the creative block window. Ctrl+Z command, it can be used to undo the last action in your drawing. You can press the shortcut key multiple times to undo many actions. Ctrl+Y command can be used to redo the last undo action which you have performed. Ctrl+Tab command to cycle through all open drawing tabs. In AutoCAD. General commands in AutoCAD. Count command is useful for counting the number of blocks in your drawing. It reports the number of each instance of block used in the drawing along with its name. To count the block, it should be visible in the drawing area. TXP command, you can convert single line as well as multiple text into geometries. Xline command, you can make infinite lines starting from the point of selection. When you trim or break this infinite line to a finite length, it becomes a simple line geometry. Point, PO command, makes a single point geometry in the drawing. To modify this type of point created by this command, you can use the P-type command and choose the desired point type from the point style window. Rev cloud command, you can make a revision cloud geometry by freehand sketching. Sketch command, you can make a freehand sketch using this command. You can use polyline, line, polyline, or spline as the object type for making this freehand sketch. multiple command. If you want to repeat any command without pressing enter key and then uses the multiple commands. To cancel the repetition of the command, press the escape key. N copy command, copy nested object from a block or xref without exploding them. Cal subcommand, you can perform calculations directly on the AutoCAD command line even when you are in the middle of a command. You can start this subcommand by entering cal for calculations. Do not forget to add an apostrophe before cal while running any other command. Burst command explodes the block containing attributes, retaining the attribute setting and its layer definition. This is especially useful if you want to retain the text of the attribute after exploding the block. SP command, you can check the spelling. SP for spelling of selected text and correct the spelling from check the spelling window. Arc text command can be used to write arc align text in AutoCAD. You can use this command to even write text aligned to a circle. Oops command can be used to restore the last deleted object in your drawing. Oops for when you make a mistake, we say oops. Okay. After deleting the object, if you made any other changes in the drawing and realize that you might need to restore the deleted object, then simply type oops and press enter. It is like undo and redo normally. Okay, all of you are used to that undo, redo, and all that. And simply type oops and press enter. CH space command, CH for character, can be used to change the space of an object from model space to paper space and vice versa. Divide command, to divide any 2D geometry into many equal parts. At each point of division, a point geometry will be added to the 2D curve. Rename command, if you need to rename any named object like layer, block, or line type, simply use this command to rename it. Break command, it can be used to break 2D geometries at 1 or 2 points. It is useful if you want to break a curve at the point of intersection with an additional curve, or if you want to create a gap by breaking a part of the geometry. Time command, you can find a lot of information about your drawing, like the date the drawing was created and the total editing time consumed in the drawing. Q select command can be used to make the selection from your drawing with filters. For example, you can use quick selection to make a selection set containing all circles of the drawing with the radius of a particular value. DI command, it can be used to find the distance, DI for distance between 2 points in the drawing. Copy base command, using this command you can copy any object from a base point. Paste clip command, you can paste the copied objects from the clipboard to your drawing using this command. If you use copy base to copy the objects, then you will be able to paste them in the same or another drawing with a selected base point. List command, using this command you can find lots of properties of an object like the layer they are on, area, length or radius, perimeter or circumference, and a lot more. To use this command, simply type list on the command line and press enter and select the object in the drawing area about which you want to know and press enter again. DIM command, dimension. This command was introduced in AutoCAD 2016 version and it can be used to make most of the dimensions like linear, align, radius, diameter, and base. To access this command, you can use the DIM command or select the DIM tool from the dimensions panel of Annotate tab. Tolerance command, if you want to add a feature control frame representing tolerance related information in your drawing, then you can use this command. Scale text command, using this command you can change the scale of the existing text or M text object in the drawing. To use this command, type scale text on the command line, press enter and select the text from the drawing area and press enter again. Now select the existing option from the command line and then select the scale factor option and then type the scale in which you want to convert the text type and press enter. When the scale of these text entities is changed, the base point will remain fixed. Base command, using this command you can change the base point of a drawing without changing its origin. This is especially useful in the situation where you want to insert the drawing into another as an extra. By default, AutoCAD takes origin as a base point, which can be modified using this command without changing the origin. DWG prefix command. If you have a drawing open in AutoCAD and you do not know the location where it is saved, you can simply type the DWG prefix command to look at it. This command can be used to quickly find the location of extras attached in the drawing. Tjust command. Using this command, you can change the text to justification of text and text elements in the drawing. Units command. Using this command, you can set the drawing units and other settings like the precision of linear and angular dimensions and default rotation angle. ML command. Using this command, you can make a multiple geometry that contains multiple parallel lines. Insert command. You can insert a block or a drawing as a block in the table using this command. You can also fit the block in the table cell and also justify its location automatically with the insert dialog box. Mirror MIRR text command. By default, AutoCAD does not mirror text in the drawing, but if you want to mirror the text in your drawing, then change the value of the mirror text variable to 1. Area command. As the name suggests, this command can be used to find the area of the enclosed closed open spaces in the shapes in the AutoCAD drawing. Orient command. Using this command, you can reorient text entities in the best readable position. ID command. This command can be used to find the coordinate values of a point in AutoCAD drawing. Insert command. Using this command, you can insert existing blocks of a drawing as a rectangular array component. An array added using insert command can be explored. Boundary command. Using this command, you can extract closed boundaries from any enclosed area. This boundary can be used to find the area of the enclosed region or for many other applications. Dim rotated command. This command can be used to make a dimension line incline a particular angle with respect to the positive side of the x-axis. That's why it is DAM for dimension. Break line command. You can use this tool to make a break line symbol on a line. Type break line on the command line and press enter and then click the scale option of the command line and apply an appropriate scale to the break line. Select the starting and end points of the break line, then click at any point on the line to specify the location of break line or directly press enter to place it exactly at the center of the line. Text to mtxt to mtxt command. Using this command, you can convert a text object into mtext object, and you can also combine multiple separate mtext objects into a single mtext unit. Save all command. As the name suggests, this command can be used to save all the open drawings in the AutoCAD window. The next one, performance increasing commands in AutoCAD. Close all command. If you have multiple tabs open in your AutoCAD window and you don't want to manually close them one by one, you can simply use the close all command to close all the open windows. AutoCAD will prompt you with the save dialog box before closing all unsaved drawings, and it will take you to the start screen after closing all of the drawings. File DAA command. This system variable suppresses the dialog box that opens up when invoking certain commands like save as, and export. The default value of this system variable is 1, which allows a dialog box to open. When you, however, change the value of the system variable to 0, the command will run on the command line and the dialog box will not open. Audit command. This command should be used for removing errors from your drawing. It is always a good practice to keep checking your drawing file with the audit file tool for errors. Recover command. This command is similar to the audit command, but it is useful for the drawings which are corrupted to such an extent that you can't even open them. MA command. This command is a great time saver. If you want to copy properties of one object and other without changing its geometry or contents. Close all other command. Using this command, you can close all open drawing windows except the current drawing window. Text fit command. Using this command, you can shrink or expand the text entities in a drawing to fit in the required area. Wipeout command. Using this wipeout command, you can clean the background of a crowded drawing to make overlaying objects clear against the background. Wipeout, erase. You can use the wipeout frame system variable and change its value to 0 to remove the wipeout frame boundary also. DWG units command, drawing units. Using this command, you can convert your AutoCAD drawing from one unit to another, and you can also scale the existing drawing to new scales automatically. Text mask command. Using this command, you can automatically create masking behind the text to make it clearly visible against the crowded background. Lay MRG command. If you want to merge, MRG for merge layers, LAY for layers, merging the layers. Merge layers of multiple objects. Then this command is for you. Type lay MRG, enter, and then select the objects whose layers you want to change it, then press enter again. Select any object of the target layer. If you want to transfer the selected objects, and press enter again. All the objects of the selected layer will be transferred to the end layer, and also the selected layer will be removed. DS command. Using this command, you can open the drafting setting. DS for drafting settings window, which can be used to change settings related to the status bar options like object snap, polar tracking, snap, and grid settings. Lay walk command. Using this command, you can check all the objects which are on a particular layer. When you use lay walk command, a list with all the layers appears on the screen, and you can click on any of the layers from the list, and the objects from that layer will only become visible in the drawing area. This original status of the layer and object visibility is restored once you close the lay walk window. Center mark command. This tool was added in the AutoCAD 2017 version, and it allows you to create center marks easily on a circle or arc. Center line command. As the name suggests, you can add a center line command easily between parallel or intersecting lines using this tool. Tablet command. If for some reason you are looking to use tablet as a pointing and navigation device in AutoCAD, then you can use this command to turn the tablet input on or off. The tablet can be turned on or off using the tab mode system variable. Also, purge command. This command can be used to remove or purge unused named objects like layers, blocks, and dimension styles from the drawing. Lay delete command. LAYDE. Layer delete. Using this command, you can delete some of the most stubborn layers from your drawing, which can be removed using the purge command. This command can also remove the DEF points layer and also layer containing. Fill mode command. Using the system variable, you can turn off or on the visibility of filled area in hatches or white polylines by changing its value to 0 and 1 respectively. By turning the fill mode off, you can enhance the performance of AutoCAD by limiting resources consumed on regenerating the filled geometries. You need to regenerate the drawing using the REA command after changing this system variable to see its effect on the drawing. Aperture command. This system variable controls the area of influence of object snap. The aperture size as defined by the system variable is the area of the square under which the point will be selected if the cursor is brought into it. The default value of this aperture is 10, but depending on the complexity of the drawing, you can change this value between 1 to 50. The size of the aperture is related to the current scale on the screen, and it is not an absolute value. Overkill command. Use this command to remove all overlapping or unnecessary geometries from the drawing. iSavePercent command. You can change the value of the system variable to reduce the time it takes to save a drawing. The system variable also affects the file size of AutoCAD drawings and its compatibility with other software. By decreasing the value of this system variable, you can increase its compatibility with other software, and it also decreases the size of the CAD file. The time consumed in save operation generally increases. When you increase the value of this system variable, opposite happens. The default value of this system variable, everything has got a default value, is 50, and it can be changed from 0 to 100. Selection preview command, when hovering the cursor over any object, a preview will appear if the value of the system variable is set to 3. You can remove this preview by thereby improve the performance by changing the value of the system variable to 0. Highlight command, the system variable is also similar to selection preview, but in this case the object will appear highlighted and then selected. Its default value is 1, but you can turn off this highlighting effect by changing its value to 0. Recover all command. This command repairs a corrupted or damaged drawing along with its attached XWebs MCH command. Using this command, you can change the layers of selected objects. To use this command, lay MCH on the command line and press enter key and select objects whose layer assignment you want to change, and press enter. Then select any object of the layer which you want to apply on selected objects and then press enter key again. Pick box command. Using this system variable, you can change the size of the pick box which appears at the cursor of AutoCAD. The default value of the system variable is 3, and you can change its value from 0 to 50. Start mode command. The system variable will tell the visibility of the start tab at the beginning of the AutoCAD application, where the default value of the system variable is 1, which allows the start screen to appear, and you can change this value to 0 if you do not want to see the start screen. Now we move on to AutoCAD 3D commands. Nowadays, everything we want to look at it in 3D form. Thicken command. Using this command, you can convert a surface into a 3D solid by adding thickness to it. CONVT, that is convert to solid command. Using this command, you can convert 3D mesh and watertight objects with surfaces to 3D solid, and you can also control whether the converted solid is smooth or faceted. Polysolid command. Using this command, you can make a 3D wall-like shape. You can also define height and thickness of the polysolid using command line options. DEL OBJ, delete the object command. The system variable controls the behavior of 2D curves when 3D tools like extrude, press, pull, and sweep are used. You can change the value of the system variable so that AutoCAD either retains or deletes the curves after converting them to 3D. Volume command. Using this command, you can find the volume of a 3D solid as well as lots of other information like its moment of inertia, MI, its radius of gyration, centroid, and products of inertia. X edges command. You can extract edges of a 3D solid or 2D geometries using this tool. Region 3 command. This command was introduced in AutoCAD 2017 version 17.1 update, and it is especially useful in removing the 3D graphics related anomalies and surface tessellations. Section plane command. Using this command, you can create a section plane in the drawing. That can be used to see the 3D drawings by sectioning them along different planes. Flatshot command. This command is great for converting a 3D drawing into 2D, and using this command, you can also create multiple views of a single 3D drawing like the front, top, and isometric or a single plane. Interfere command. This command can be used to detect intersecting 3D solids. The command is especially useful in situations where you want to detect clashes between different solids like pipes and walls. Project geometry command. Using this command, you can project a 2D curve on a 3D surface, solid or curve. Shell command. Using this command, you can convert a 3D solid into a hollow solid with a wall thickness. To use this command, type solid edit on the command and then press enter type B and enter type yes and press enter. Alternatively, you can also select the shell tool from the solid editing panel of the solid tab. SURFs, patch command. Using this command, you will fill the open areas of a surface like the top of a cylinder. Helix command. As the name suggests, this command can be used to make a helix in AutoCAD drawing. Move face command. Using this tool, you can move faces like a group of a 3D solid from one point to other. For using this tool, type solid edit on the command line, press enter and then type F, press enter and then type M and press enter again. SURF trim command. This command is similar to the trim command of 2D drawings. In this case, it will trim surfaces instead of 2D geometries. 3D align command. Using this command, you can align a 3D solid object with respect to another 3D solid. SURF offset, surface offset command. Using this command, you can offset any surface inside, outside, or on both sides of the surface. Solid HIST for history. Solid hist command. Using this tool, you can record the history of solids and which Boolean operations are performed, and you can modify these solids later. By default, the value of the system variable is 0, which keeps this feature off, but you can turn it on by changing its value to 1. Imprint command. Using this command, you can imprint 2D drawings on planar surfaces of a planar faces of a 3D solid or a surface to create additional faces for 3D tools like press put. And next, AutoCAD accessibility commands. Text SCR command. The command will open a text window that has a history of recently used commands. BATT map command. This tool can be used to modify the attribute information of blocks containing attributes. BATT. Okay, 3D config command. You can use this command to turn on or off hardware acceleration or change the graphics related properties of AutoCAD like smooth line display and high quality graphics display. Seek command. This command will redirect you to the page. It is one of the great places to get blocks on your project. FS command. Using this command, and select objects which are connected to the selected object in the drawing area. The behavior of this command is controlled by the FS mode system variable. If the value of FS mode is off, the FS command will select only the selected object and one object that is directly connected to the selected object. If the value of FS mode is on, then the FS command will select the selected object as well as the objects connected to it and its next connected object in the series. This selection series continues as long as the command finds connected objects. Text to front command. Using this command, you can bring text dimensions and the leader lines on the front of all underlying objects like hatches. This command is especially useful if you want to bring multiple annotations to the front of all drawings objects without changing the draw order selectively. Publish command. Using this command, you can print multi-sheet files directly, unlike the plot command, which only plots a single sheet. This command will allow you to plot multiple sheets or even all of the sheets of the drawing directly. Isolate command. Using this command, you can hide all objects from the drawing area except the selected objects. By hiding unnecessary objects from drawing, you can get a clean work area. To bring all the hidden objects back to the drawing, select UN isolate or unhide command. Hide objects command. This command is similar to the isolate commands. Unisolate. Okay. Previously. This command is similar to the isolate command, but in this case, you can hide selected objects, keeping the remaining objects visible. In this case, also you can bring back hidden objects by using unhide or unisolate command. Group command. Using this command, you can group multiple objects as a single unit. This command is great for making groupings of similar types of objects, like a group of similar blocks. To break this group, you can use ungroup command. Add center command. AD. This command can be used to bring the design center palette to the drawing area. You can also use the Ctrl+2 key to open the design center palette. Import command. Using this command, you can import drawings of many different formats in AutoCAD. Field command. Fields are dynamic text information that can add a lot of intelligence to your drawing by keeping data interlinked and updated. Fields are extensively used in the sheet set and layout drawings and can be used and they can be used to automate a lot of information in AutoCAD drawings. You can start the field window using the field command of AutoCAD W block command. If you want to export a certain part of a drawing or in any of its blocks to an external file, then you can use the right block tool or its command equivalent W block. Unless otherwise one uses the software regularly, the knowledge will wane after some time. There are so many other commands and options which are covered in depth in the detailed manual and tutorials too, which are offered for free along with the software. The effective usage is dependent on the expertise of the user. We learn a lot of new tricks as time progresses, called the learning curve concept. You know the learning curve? Okay, we learn by doing things. Learning is an art. Practice leads to perfection. Be a smart user and use your own way. Debates, discussion on open-ended topics like this can go on forever. Anyhow, let me pull the plug here. We'll meet again real soon with another interesting topic. Some of the statements views expressed are solely in mind, based on limited knowledge gained over 6 decades of versatile experience. Always watch these videos with closed captions, subtitles for absolute 100% comprehension as per my sincere recommendation zillion times so far. I know I rushed through to complete the presentation within 20 minutes maximum. This time limit is self-imposed to reason the viewer's attention as a norm. Self-norm. I am quite aware of the fact that I exceed this time limit. Sometimes I take double or even triple this time depending on the topic. Today I must have taken double the time. Since I make honest attempts to cover a selected topic more elaborately, including so many intricate fine details, referring a wide variety of sources, in particular Wikipedia, quite extensively, besides articles and books published recently. Besides, of course, I sprinkle my own salt and pepper and season it with my personal experiences so far in my life and also intuition. Stay at home as much as possible to maintain social distancing attributed to pandemic novel COVID-19 and prolong your lifespan. Lead a healthy life. God, also known as a supreme power, is the one and only one who can put a stop to natural or unnatural, maybe bio and cyber war events like pandemics and epidemics, which ultimately paves the way for apocalypse and extinction of all sentient species on earth for no fault of others. Rest in peace and harmony. I have taken 47 minutes to